Dr. Ratzinger, Dr. Ratzinger, Dr. Ratzinger, he is here.
And he is here. Good evening, Noel Gallagher.
You know?
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Sensational.
Thank you so much for coming on. I can't for the life of me work out why you're eager and so keen to come on tonight's show.
Oh, because great things happened over the weekend, Chelsea's cheating and philandering and diving and Mourinho's nonsense finally caught up with him with brilliant. That's brilliant on Sky Sports. And it's just, I couldn't even get any better. God Lord, Sunday morning, right. Sunday morning was just, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Marvellous?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for on tonight's show.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all I wanted to say anyway. So I've seen a bit.
Okay, we're going. Let's start with that game in yesterday afternoon. Of course, the first of two big old games, and United losing, of course, getting absolutely stuffed at home to Liverpool. Where's the problem? We've been talking about this on tonight's show. I've said it a few times tonight. I've had enough of David Moyes. I want him out of the club. I can't for the life of me see any way as to how he's going to turn this around. What's your view on it?
I was looking at the way that they analyse all the games on the telly, and they don't know. They're a team who are not a team at the minute. They just don't seem to be able to allow themselves to be inspired. The manager can't inspire them, and Rooney and Van Persie not passing to each other is amazing. And I don't know. I was listening to a United fan today, and he was saying, they've tried to fill the biggest boots in football with the man with the smallest feet, and it was true in a way. Do you know what I mean? They've gone from a guy who kind of swept all before him to a manager who's kind of not really won anything. United's ever got a team. It's fourth. I don't know. I mean.
Is that the problem, Noel? Because Jason disagrees. I agree with you. I think if one of the biggest clubs in the world needs a new manager, they have to go with one of the biggest names in the world. But Jason disagrees and says that no one could really get a song out of this current side because they are ageing, and this was going to happen for whoever came in.
I would beg to differ. I would say that out of that team, I reckon Klopp would get a tune out of it. I reckon Mourinho would get a tune out of it. I reckon Hiddink would get a tune out of it. I reckon Pellegrini would get a tune out of it. I reckon you could probably think of a dozen managers. Guardiola, you could think of a few that would get a tune out of that team.
I think worrying for Man United fans is I saw a performance from a side that I think want the manager out themselves.
Me too. They're not playing for him in any way. What Raphael yesterday, how he was even on the pitch is, his head went. Every time a decision went against him, he was looking like he was going to headbutt Liverpool players. Do you know what I mean? And that's all well and good. Showing a bit of fight for the fans and all that, but I don't know.
Do you think it's conceivable it could happen if United lose to Olympiacos and then get beat heavily by your mob? Do you think the board will go, you know what, enough's enough now?
I'm amazed. Everybody knows what has to happen. They should just get on and do it. I'm amazed he hasn't quit.
Well, he's got a 6-year deal. There's no way he's going to jack that in.
I am staggered that it would be like I quit a few times when it wasn't going well. I just walked out and left it at that. Do you know what I mean? And I'd be out the door. I mean, it's just, it looks like it's going down the toilet, sinking in the quicksand. So, I mean, I agree. You should be given the 6 years. Don't get me wrong.
Sorry, Jay. The board must realise that when they see banners at Old Trafford saying like David Moyes is a genius, and then they hear people like you saying, I think he's brilliant, let's keep him for 6, they must know that something's massively wrong and can't be fixed.
But I think that they probably, whoever will eventually push the button, they know what they've got to do. They know how this is going to end. Because we all watch enough football to know that. Can you see us sitting here this time next season saying, well, last season was a bit weird, wasn't it? And we're back in the Champions League and pushing. I can't see that happening for another 5 years. Can you?
No.
I mean, you're a United fan, and with all the optimism that goes with that, can you see it getting any better next season?
No. Well, and I worry. Sorry, Jay. And I worry that he will be given £200 million or £150 million to spend in the summer, and I worry that he won't spend that as he should do. And I reckon more players like Fellaini will come in, more players like Massa, who we don't need if he's going to carry on playing this formation. I worry that he's going to be given that amount of money to spend, and it will go horrifically wrong.
Well, somebody texted me who was at Old Trafford yesterday what was going on, and United fan, obviously, and he said, Juan Mata is to David Moyes what my smartphone is to my granddad. And it just about sums it up.
Yeah.
Like he buys a player for 40, how much was he?
37
million. We all know where he should play. We all know he's a great little player, you know what I mean? But, and he's sticking him out on the wing. It's just, I mean, it beggars belief. And then you get to, after the second penalty yesterday, Phil Jones supposedly going to be the greatest player of all time. Diabolical decision. And then he doesn't change anything until... Did he change anything up until it was 3-0? I mean, it was crazy decisions as well. It's just... it seems like it's all sinking pretty fast to me.
See, this decision the board are going to have to make at some stage, either back him or sack him, because it's coming fast. There's the edge of a cliff coming, and either got to make one decision or the other. And I don't see the point in sacking him quite now. I don't see that happening. I see if they're going to make a change, the summer is the perfect time to do it. But then there comes a crossroads. Do they give him that money that the squad clearly needs investing, or do they get rid of him and give it to someone else? That decision is coming, and that crossroads is fast approaching.
So if it was me, I mean, all right, sarcastically I can say if it was me, I'd have him staying. But seriously, if you're in charge there, you must know. The football people at that club, even Ferguson must know that he's dropped a massive clanger here, because there's going to be there's usually about half a dozen managers looking for work after the World Cup, isn't there? Capello, for instance, who's not, even Capello, and how many managers could they go for in the summer? There's got to be at least a short list of 6, all great, you know what I mean? And I'd be amazed if he's there next season. I'd be amazed.
Let's turn our attention now to your side as well. Or in fact, the league, the Premier League. I mean, it's every week I look at the league table and I go, oh yeah, the Arsenal back in it now, or oh yeah, City would definitely win. Oh, Chelsea have lost. I mean, it's so strange. What's your view now on who's going to win it and top 3 as well?
I still, when you get to this part of the season, I still would back the team that can grind it to the finish line, and who can go without conceding a goal for 6 games. I'm still going to go for Chelsea, because I think that the maths are against Arsenal anyway. But I think that with Liverpool and City, Liverpool's defence isn't great. City's defence isn't great. Saying that, you can't really call it with any great authority at the minute. But
but every club's got their pluses. You talk about Chelsea defence. The trouble is, Chelsea don't have a striker to score a goal, and in tight games, you need that. When you get to this part of it, it's like when City won the league that season and we won the last 6 games. We only conceded 2 goals in the last game. Out of the previous 5 or 6 games, we didn't concede a single goal, and that's what got us there. You know what I mean? And I think Chelsea could go from a disaster on Saturday night, and they can go the next 8 games without conceding a goal and unbeaten. I don't think City can go without conceding. Liverpool certainly can. Saying that, if we win our games in hand, it's on, and the pressure's going to start. I think it's definitely advantage you now, without question. It's advantage City.
But what about, I still got Liverpool in it, and you can't just. I mean, if Chelsea go there and get beat, like before we go there, if Chelsea go there and lose, Liverpool only has to win one more difficult game, and that's against us. And their running is laughably easy. It's easier than Chelsea's, and that's why I count Arsenal out, because they've got quite a tough running, and we've got an extremely tough running. But for me, it's I think it'll be Chelsea by 2 points, and then maybe 4 points behind that will be Liverpool. Will be 6 points behind Chelsea will be Arsenal. But I think it's going to go down to the second last game of the season.
Let me get your view on the George Boyd, Joe Hart incident at the weekend. What's your take on it? I mean, of course it was a dive, we know that, but what do you make of the afters afterwards?
Well, good job Joe's been booked already, because he would probably get put up on a charge for that. But what really annoys me about that is
and even the Sturridge one at Old Trafford on Sunday, his manager's coming out saying, well, he was expecting contact, so he's going out. No, he dived. You know, and the managers are now kind of dancing around it with their players going, oh, well, you know, he was expecting contact, so, you know, he's going to go down anyway. And it's like, well, no, he dived. You know, you're supposed to fall over when you're being tripped, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? But I think the lad, will he get done for the spitting thing? I don't know. I don't know.
Was it definitely? Do we all agree it was definitely a spit? It wasn't saliva coming out of his mouth while he was speaking, was it?
That is a spit, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I can see you've used that defence before, Noel.
Well, this is what I tell my children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was because he wasn't. No, it looked like it, didn't it? Did it look like it to you?
Yeah, no, it did. It did. I just, you know.
It's difficult, isn't it? You know.
I just wonder if it was intentional. It's a tough one. In the slow mo I saw, I wouldn't like to bet against it, shall we say?
I mean, I have to say for on City, when Vinny got sent off, I was thinking, oh God, is this just the worst end to like the worst week of all time? And I was really, really proud that we dug ourselves out of that. I thought absolutely amazing.
And not an easy place to go either. It was,
no.
Even with 11 men.
Well, even with 11, I mean, they gave us the runaround at our place, Hull. And I was thinking, you know, they just the semi-final, their tails will be up, their two centre forwards will be back after having a week off. We're coming off the back of a bad result against Barcelona, but a pretty good performance, I thought, against Barcelona. But and I was thinking, if he gets sent off, could heads go down? It was a good job Silva scored when he did, though.
Yeah, great goal.
You know what I mean? Oh, it was an unbelievable goal.
Yeah.
But if it had gone on for another 30 minutes, it might have been a different story. But the big player stepped up something.
Just before we let you go, of course, you mentioned Barcelona. We haven't spoken to you since then. How was your trip over there? Was it a heavy one? Do you remember much about it?
I remember quite a bit. It was good. I mean, it's great to be the first time I've ever been to the new camp. But it was great. But I thought, you know, we had our chances. If we'd have scored first, we might have done a bit. You know, Nasri had that great chance, and there was the penalty shout, which was a penalty.
Yeah.
And we were in the Barcelona end, and it was, you know, they don't do much at that stadium. They kind of just sit there and wait for stuff to happen, and you know. But it was. I mean, it's an amazing place.
No, you're a star's ways. Thanks for coming on, pal. Much appreciated.
All right, man.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.